All right, guys, it's been a while, but Travis Moody is back on a Toy Kind of Mood here to host because Robert and Ronnie are too busy doing their weekend thing. We had a late weekend show here, but I'm joined by another fellow proper Bostonian, Erick Korpi. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Travis? How we doing?
Hey, tilt your head down a little bit so we can see that ball cap. There you go. B-Sox. All right, spring training time. Celtics aren't that good, but I got luck of the Irish. We're just celebrating our St. Patty's. I'm not over it yet. I need another Jameson. But before I get to that, I'm going to talk about lots of news this week. It's been a while. We've had Plunder episodes, Diorama episodes. By the way, part 2 of the Diorama episode will be returning next week. And this is a little interlude. Lots of news on episode 23. We couldn't believe it. But before we get into that, Erick, I'd like to get some background on you. We can see a background right now, practically just tons of toys, tons of Transformers, tons of things going on. Talk about your upbringing with toys and what you collect, what your main line is.
Let's see. Well, I used to work in publishing. I used to work with Marvel and DC. I became a convention promoter, traveling around the country doing trade shows and stuff. Comics has always been my thing, and my friend Andrew was trying to get me into toys because he needed someone to talk toys with. So beginning of the pandemic, I went hardcore into toys because comics weren't being published.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning my way through everything.
Then we got a lot more in common than we thought. We're not just from Massachusetts, but shit, during the pandemic, there was a boom. I mean, I was always a casual collector. I was collecting Black Series, but I never even took any of them out of the box. And then I'd hit the Comic-Con exclusives, like you just said.
Yep.
You were always doing the convention. Did you ever do the Comic-Con exclusive toys?
Oh yeah. I used to have a few.
Yep.
Yep. Unfortunately, when collecting toys is pretty much the closest I come to sports because it's all boxing.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. With no MMA, no UFC tonight. It's coming on in a little bit.
No, I got to go back to work at some point.
Oh, okay.
I got to close up shop.
There you go. No worries. All right, we'll fly through this episode. Let's bring the moods back. It's March Madness. All right. And Michigan won today by a lot. That's my team. I know that's not a mass team, but I grew up liking those Fab Five boys and whatnot. So I'm in a good mood right now, and I'm especially in a good mood to talk with Erick about the Mezco Toys 112 Collective Destro. Your initial thoughts before we get the details on this bad boy.
Before we start seeing everything, my God, that thing was a beautiful piece of art. It was great to see the expressive face, the detail. Reminded me of a couple covers from the old series by Hammer. But man, that was I couldn't wait to see it live, just to see more than just a couple images of it. And I tell you, it did not disappoint.
No, we got a boatload of accessories, and like you mentioned, the faces. There's 3 interchangeable ones, and one of them, it looked like we had either the boxy, curvy kind of robotic type face, and then the one with a crazy Jack Nicholson shining grin, almost like that kind of polarized some fans. But then there was a third face, classic G1 or a real American hero face, just more stoic, cold, just in control Destro like we know. So you got 3 choices here, and then a boatload of accessories with the I don't know, what was your favorite? Do you remember the accessories? And if not, I can relay them. But did you have a favorite one that you saw in this Mezco pack?
No, not particularly. I mean, it's all impressive all around.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really loved was the fact it looked kind of like almost like a Frank Springer kind of art style where they developed it from. If you ever read the Joe series around the 30s issue there back in the early 80s, it looked like it was out of there. And it was, my God, it just brought me back to my childhood looking at it.
Nice. Now the big question is, did you pre-order this bad boy?
I am debating it. It's it's $100. That's with everything else going on, it's kind of a hard thing to commit, especially when there's no guaranteed really ship time. It'll be here around there, but around there could be 2 months later, especially during the whole quarantine stuff.
Yeah,
So I'd rather wait till I see one first before I get it.
definitely.
Unless the next one looks really nice, because I mean they only, from what I understand from them, is they only unleash one like maybe 2 or 3 times a year, so with plenty of time to get a chance to look at it.
Absolutely. And you can still pre-order this directly from Mezco or Big Bad Toy Store where I got it from, because I added to my pile of loot, save on the shipping. Some of the statistics here, as you see on the screen, we get the missile shooting gauntlet, the blast effects missiles. We get the rifle, get the 2 removable mags. There's removable mags for this pistol too. He's got 12 different hands as usual with Mezco. Thigh holsters, interchangeable as well. The necklace, with the amulet and everything. And the big thing here is the reason why it's $100 and not 85, Eric, is because of the light up briefcase. It illuminates with an on and off switch. I know it's like, man, I could have saved $15, right? But it's pretty badass to have that there, and it will separate your Destro from your classified. So super excited for this. I'm glad that you're excited for it. When it comes in here, we'll have to show it off, and maybe we'll sway you into getting it.
With everybody reusing molten stuff, you think what are the odds of getting a profit director version?
Oh,
Everybody's up in arms about that. You love it or hate it.
yeah, we'll see. All right, so where do you think, before we move on, where do you think Mezco's going to go with GI Joe next? I mean, they got to go Joe, right? Because they went Cobra right away.
I don't know. To do Destro off first is kind of a hard thing, because it is a command in Cobra, but you need something to balance it off. But if it's gonna end up working together as a diorama possibly,
Yeah.
then you're gonna probably do Baroness next. You'll probably get the basic core command. You're gonna get Commander, Baroness, Blood, and maybe somebody else. Maybe probably Firefly.
Oh,
But I mean, you're gonna get your core command in there, and then you'll get the same thing with Joe. They might do, if they're gonna start off with it, they might, like everybody else seems to, he might get a roadblock.
yeah. So I it became like a little pool party. It's freaking 60 out there, but I guess it's heated. All right. Okay, well, good enough. We'll move on now to Star Wars Black Series. Okay, so before we talk about the Hasbro Fan Fest that's coming up, they didn't hesitate. They dropped a little bomb this Friday, and it was the publishing comic editions of the Black Series. And I know you said you're not major in the Star Wars, but just to run down what they did reveal: Luke Skywalker with the Salamiri, reptilian, the yellow little thing, the majig. This is from Here to the Empire. So a lot of these are legend stories now because of the Disney canon. We also have Jackson, who's, the Bucky O'Hare. He did come first. Jackson did Star Wars Adventures currently, but he's a 70s Star Wars character from the comics. And then also Star Wars Darth Maul, the Sith Apprentice. This one looks pretty cool. A lot of tattooed body. So a different look right here. A lot of retooling overall as far as molds. Last one is the funniest one and probably the silly mood for the week. The Crimson Empire book, Karner Jax, and they completely messed up because this is Kyrkanos. Now, I might be saying these names wrong. It's been a while, but the wrong name is on the packaging. Karner Jax is on the packaging, but as you could see, the Dark Horse fans of the comic noted that this is Kyrkanos. Hasbro Pulse has recently come out and said, please be aware that this character is mislabeled Karner Jax on our packaging when it was in fact Kyrkanos. We apologize for the oversight and want to ensure that we are constantly refining our processes to provide our fans with a high quality, accurate figures they expect from us. So basically, this is the whole thing all over again. What's that? Go ahead.
That's when you imitate Home Alone.
Nailed it. So I don't know, did any of these, I know you're not big in Star Wars, but you are big in a comic, so did any of these pop out at you?
I remember the rabbit guy way back in the day. He was actually in the first arc after they did A New Hope. He was the first original story. But the one thing that some of the stuff that was on that announcement was kind of mid 90s ish, early 90s, and it reminds me of There was a game that came out around that time because I saw something with Prince Zazon or whatever how you pronounce the name. That was Shadows of the Empire. I remember
Yes.
that game. So that means at some point you might even get a Dash Rendar, and I remember he played an important role in that point. Up until that time, that was really the only thing between Empire and Jedi.
Right. And
So
that'll be interesting because they have their gaming greats line. So now this
yeah,
is like the new comic line. As you can see, the packaging is pretty extraordinary. Except for the blip they made when they put the wrong character on. But my
you're gonna notice there. I'm at least well, I've noticed that there is a lot of stuff from Hasbro now where they're saying that they're going off the comics line. Even with Transformers, they're saying that this is out of there. So I'm glad to see that they're finally taking some cues in there instead of just going by random things.
Yeah, and especially speaking of the Transformers real quick, yeah, they promised at the Hasbro Pulse Fan Fest that they are going to be announcing something with the IDW publishing. But before we get into the Pulse fan, I want to ask you this. Do you think this will open the door up? You said you had mentioned Dash, but what about like Mara Jade, Star Killer, Prince Zizor? Prince Azor is the one you mentioned, and Kyle Katarn. So you think we're going to be starting to see some of these roll in?
I think it's possible. I don't think anything is truly not but doesn't prove that potential. I mean, but the only downside to it is if you do love Marwa Jade, people are gonna be like, "What is she? Who is she?" And that leads to them where if they're not ready to deal with that in publishing or in a movie or some sort of tie-in, that's when you're gonna probably see it more. Back in the day with Legends, when a figure came out, like the Builder figure or a figure that was in there, you knew that within the year something was going to happen with that character. So if you see a figure out there, then honestly, probably sooner than later, you're going to see something with them in there.
Yeah.
Ideally.
No, yeah, absolutely. Nothing's out of the window with Star Wars, especially Hasbro. So Pulse Fan Fest will be April 9th. This is their next big one. So we just did a Pulse Con. Well, I not just did, but over the fall of last year. And now all of a sudden we're coming right back in with the spring. So obviously a lot of this stuff is replacing what you would get at these Anaheim WonderCon, Emerald City Comic Con, all the stuff that is obviously closed to the public and they're going virtual. Hasbro is going to stick to the stuff instead of bringing it to a convention. So let's get back into GI Joe. Star Wars will be there. They haven't announced, they haven't teased anything. The one thing I do know about the Star Wars figures for the Hasbro Fan Fest is that they are not going to be locked in for the premium members. So the premium members will have access to the other lines, but the Star Wars figures are going to be open to the public. So that pissed a lot of people off that are paying their $50 a year. But all right, GI Joe, they're going full on Snake Eyes movie. So they're getting ready. The movie's supposed to come out this October, I believe, in the fall. So we're almost there. We're almost in the summertime. It's time to promote. Thoughts on what we're going to see from GI Joe here in Hasbro?
All right. Well, with GI Joe, the movie's coming out in October. Actually, right about my birthday too. Thankfully, Yo Joe.
Yo, Joe.
I think we're gonna see the Snake Eyes. We're gonna see the Storm Shadow.
Hold on. Is that Storm Shadow going to be the one that they've leaked on the website that looks like the Sub-Zero Yakuza Storm Shadow, or is it going to be something entirely different?
It's probably gonna be this the Yakuza style.
Well, someone did point out that that character, that version was in that video game that came out. So is that going to relate to the movie? So that kind of brought me to like, maybe we're going to see something else entirely in the mold.
It's more than possible, but if they're not going to release two Storm Shadows at the same time on that style, they would have done it earlier this year with the retro, the three-quarter one. But when it comes, they're not going to release two of the same style at the same same size at the same time.
Absolutely.
You're gonna get that. I mean, no one has really seen what Storm Shadow is going to look like in the movie. You get little clips here and there, but there's been nothing really that. I mean, they're still doing reshots of it.
Well, which is crazy. It's right up here. San Pedro, they're doing reshoots for Snake Eyes, and I know a couple buddies of mine that I'm working on a TV show on Monday, and they worked on it. Maybe I can pick their brain and get some info here for a toy kind of mood. But as of now, nothing is leaked. So maybe anything that has to do with costuming. I know no one even knows what the Snake Eyes is looking at, because even those guys said they were there, but they didn't see Snake Eyes. So maybe they're just gonna shoot one angle with the, the reactions with the background actors and the stunt guys, and then the other angles alone with the background. So that way they're not getting anything out there and getting leaked.
Most likely, yeah. I mean, if anybody who follows the origin of the character, it's a story that could be adapted for any time. All you gotta do is change the war. I mean, all the original Joes are Vietnam vets. It doesn't take much long to become Operation Desert Storm vets, or
Sure.
Operation Freedom, or any Enduring Freedom. It could be anything. It's there's so much stuff in there where it's such a rich history that was masterfully done by Larry Hama and crew and the late Herb Trimpe. Yeah, it could easily be the first issue itself it's a movie by itself.
Yep. You can go back and read those classic Hama books, and they still hold up. They still hold up. It's amazing. Speaking of leaks though, did you see the Major Blood 80s tees, which I got a couple of the shirts from them. They're tremendous shirts, great quality, awesome Transformer GI Joe's retro shirts, and they have a Major Blood. It's basically the classified artwork. Do you think this is the Major Blood? Have you seen the leak shot? It's right on the.
I haven't seen the leak shot of it yet, but honestly, Sebastian has such a classic look that it's gonna look great no matter what.
There you go, as a man confident. And then they also announced Ninja Strike role play toys. I'm assuming those are for kids.
Yeah, definitely. Most likely not, it's gonna be like play knives like they did it before. Like Marvel used to do the Wolverine claws. That you're probably gonna get a couple of plastic katanas or something like that. Most likely what that's gonna be.
Very cool. Time to get your kids in this stuff. And then Henry Golding, of course, Snake Eyes himself will make an appearance and hopefully maybe tease something. But other than that, I don't know if the studio will let that happen. But other than that, my prediction, I think is right on line with you said. Of course, we're gonna see the movie Sub-Zero. We're gonna see the movie Storm Shadow, movie Snake Eyes. I'm gonna say, just based on the IMDb, the Baroness and Scarlet, which was the code name Mosquito on Amazon, and we all pre-ordered, and then it got canceled a few months later, which we realized that would definitely happen. So what was supposed to happen last year in the fall is about to happen now. All right, so Transformers, you're a big Transformers guy. Do you
actually
yeah, go ahead.
Actually, one thing is whenever they do the fan fest, there's been a deluxe edition figure, like 00 with Snake Eyes. Last year was Cobra Commander. I'm not saying I know what it is, but if I had to guess, green Zartan with the skid.
With
the thing. I think that's what it would be. There's every other figure has a reissue of some sort. There's no real other way to reissue him.
Yeah.
And everybody got angry because there was no color change. This way they can just remold it into a different plastic, pop it in there, and say, hey, this was our plan all along. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, $50. There you go. That's how they get you.
It's worth it.
And I'm gonna be here trying to fight the bots.
My fingers will be bloody.
All right. Let's move on to Transformers. As you can see in Erick's background and my background, mine are open, his are closed, but we got a lot of Transformers. Are you collecting the War for Cybertron Kingdom?
I've got a couple. I got the Cheetor and I got the Optimus Primal. I got a couple others that are on pre-order that just haven't shipped yet.
Yep.
Great looking figures. I love the updating on them. It's it's interesting that some stuff is coming out Kingdom and around the same time as some stuff should be coming out 86. But it's a weird mix in there. But there's not a really bad figure in the bunch.
Well, I could tell you that the rush for these, at least based on I've only been at one Target in a month, so it's like a Guinness record for me. But I went today, and so it's Target number 2, and they had plenty of Wave 1 Kingdom. And this is a small city Target too. It's not one of the bigger ones. And they had all the 86 besides Grimlock, which I saw 5 of at the other Target. And then this Target had Cup, Jazz, Blur, they were all there. So a few months ago, we were killing ourselves trying to get these things, and now they're warm and shelf. So if you missed out on the first wave of Kingdom or the 86, they shouldn't be a problem now at Target. So Transformers, they promised that they're going to reveal wave 3, so expect plenty of pre-orders there. They said a first-time character ever will appear in toy form. Any guess who that is? You're a big comic guy, big G1 guy. Who would you guess hasn't been in toy form ever? Transformers.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about that, and there's really only one classic character one classic thing that really fits that bill, and that's the Ark. And in a different cartoon, the Ark was actually a different, ended up being a Transformer as well, ended up being Omega Supreme. So but on here, they've been teasing the schematics and stuff. If that's going to be the big surprise character, I'm all for it. You make it big enough so you can put some of the micro characters in there. You're good to go. If you get really mad at it, pop a hole in there and you can imitate the 86 movie. But I think that's going to be the big thing. Because on the flip side, though, ever since IDW rebooted the series about 2 years ago, their priority has been creating all new characters. In the first issue, they introduced like 5 new guys, and they're starting off with basically, it was supposed to tie in with War for Cybertron, where it's supposed to be you're seeing everything that's happening leading up to the day of the Civil War. And with the cartoon, it's a couple days before, but the book is months in advance, and the figures are, they all came in battle damaged at that point until or repainted, as the case may be. So there's a lot of characters that have never been done, but I don't really see any of those characters really holding on beyond the comic.
Right.
So my guess really is going to be either the Ark or the Nemesis.
Those are great choices. But they did promise a toy capsule with IDW Publishing, as we mentioned before. But to promise a first-time character, so that's got to be something different than IDW, because that would be characters. I don't think IDW would just be one IDW character. I think it would be, like you said, the first 5 from the book or whatever. Some of these other ones that have made more of an impact, but. That is yet to be seen. But April 9th for the Hasbro Pulse Fan Fest, there's also Power Rangers, Marvel Legends. I'm just going to take a quick guess and say maybe those WandaVision characters that haven't been up for pre-order, they should be probably pre-order that day. The White Vision outfit and the new Scarlet Witch, and then maybe a new Falcon and Cap. I know one kind of just came out not too long ago, but we get the show right now. So any guess as to what, quick guess as far as Marvel Legends, what we'll see on April 9th?
Young Avengers.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. In all the shows, you got the new Hawkeye coming out. You have the 2 kids that are going to probably whoop in age during WandaVision. Rumor is that Patriot is going to be in Falcon Winter Soldier. You basically, and if we do go into a movie, we get the Iron Lad. And you got Stature, who's already been in the Ant-Man movies. You got the team. None of them have had figures recently. Rebox them, put them in there, gift set. There you go. Just like they did last year with Thanos' Black Order team.
There you go. That's a tremendous, man. You've had your guesses are like on point. As far, we'll have to see, but man, those are very educated guesses. They're also going to release their relationship that they got, a partnership that they have now with Fortnite. All right, let's get a little bad mood. Before that, the good mood is, okay, seeing this is French vanilla Dunkin' Donuts coffee. They have it at Target. I know it's not the same thing as getting it from one of the local Dunkies there in Gloucester, but I'll take it. Tastes great. All right, bad mood time. Walmart Collecticon. Erick Korpi, your initial thoughts on this disaster?
There are not enough words to describe how horrible this is. More repaints, more reissues, and another goddamn Megatron. Great. Yes, you packed him up with a dinosaur this time, but it's still the same mold that you've used year after. Can we just get a version, one of the waves without that damn tank in there? I know we can't get the gun anymore for all those different reasons, but by God, change it up.
How many repacks has this been in Megatron in this War for Cybertron?
There's been 2 in every set. There's been the whatever version came out mass retail, and then the Walmart one. So at least 2 every wave.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the
Same one.
big time spoiler pack that you see on the screen. We were excited. We all, KJ, shout out to him. He had the links. I was running around doing other things, and I even stopped in a Target and used their freaking bathroom. Hopefully I don't get COVID, because I was like sitting there trying to, beat the bots, the spoiler pack, and then it was sold out right on Hasbro Pulse. So then Walmart released it right when I got home. It was still up. I was like, wow, it's not gone. And then not even a day later, we were all canceling our pre-orders because it's the Siege Voyager Megatron, basically a little repaint with the fossilizer Paleo Trex. I actually think that purple translucent Paleo Trex is cool, but not for $60. Don't need another Megatron, my friend.
No.
I thought it was going to be Galvatron or Hot Rodimus, and it didn't happen that way. But there is Galvatron. Ironically, got revealed. He got leaked, I should say, not officially revealed, leaked. He looks amazing. So of course we're gonna have to wait for that.
I thought the spoiler pack was actually going to be something completely different. I thought it was going to be twin cast.
Okay, like where your head's at. But they also, Walmart Collecticon also revealed, also released, I should say, the vintage Beast War. So basically, this is just repacks. It's the same stuff that you got and I got from the Kingdom. And then also they did a repack, which was strange in this kind of boxing. They did a Optimus Primal and Rat Trap 2-pack, and also a Sparkless Seeker 3-pack, which is cool. I don't know if I quite want it. Maybe if it goes on clearance or something, that'd be something I pick up. But the 2 coolest, we're gonna do a weekly plunder, but the 2 coolest releases by Walmart this week for Transformers are these, and they weren't even part of this thing. They just kind of slow rolled into here you go, the Decius Armadron. Yeah. And then also a repack of Deep Cover. There you go. This was available one day on a rush on Hasbro Pulse. And shout out to Dave Story picking these up for me. Probably drove all the way to Palmdale to get them to beat the scalpers. But good looking out. What do you got to show me? You got them too?
Oh, well, I want to just show you this. I mean, it's that Sparkless. It's another reusing of the same mold.
Oh, the Seeker, yeah.
Yeah, these guys and the Ironhide are the same thing.
Yeah, so this whole wave, like you said, was a repaint and a repack, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
but for some plunder.
Well, we're gonna do plunder. Well, we're gonna do plunder at the end.
Okay.
Sorry about that. You're jumping the gun on me. No. I'm sorry.
I thought you said spoil. Sorry.
No, I figured since we were on topic. No, we're all good. But yeah, what else? Walmart Collector. Now, see, we shifted our moods. We're all happy. We want to show our stuff, but let's get a little angry first. Let's get a little chill, then we'll show our plunder. They released the Ghostbusters Kenner Classics, the Ecto 1, the Fearsome Flush, the Bug Eye. Are you a Ghostbusters guy? You got any comment on those?
Sadly, I'm not. Just anxiously awaiting the next movie.
All right, very good. And then Star Wars did the vintage collection, so nothing for you Black Series people like me. Just a Paplu, an Indoor Leia, an ATST driver. As far as I know, those did not sell out. So, all right, let's get a little relaxed before we hit our plunder. We all saw the Justice League, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Zack Snyder's Justice League toys did get revealed with McFarlane, but before that, some stuff was available for pre-order from Target. You said you picked up you pre-ordered some stuff from McFarlane. I know they released Nightwing Joker, the Rebirth Bizarro, and then the modern comic Green Lantern John Stewart, which in my opinion was the best of the three. And I pre-ordered that bad boy. I also pre-ordered the Dark Knight's Metal Wonder Woman. I thought it was a pretty tremendous figure. What did you pre-order from? I think it was Target, right?
I did order from Target a couple weeks back. I ordered the Batman Beyonds, and then they just did an issuing for the Shrike character.
Yep.
Love Batman Beyonds. Darwin Cook and Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. I mean, the three of them combined created a great show. That the next Batman, it was amazing. It was ahead of its time, and it's still loved to this day. So whenever I see something Batman Beyond, gotta pick it up. For the most of the rest of the stuff out there with McFarlane, I don't pick it up more so because I don't need a 900th Batman. I don't need a 400 Wonder Woman, especially when all it is the same thing. Give me something different. You got I mean, the first couple waves were all basically Batman. Give me something different. Give me something. If you're gonna do Green Lanterns, I'm glad you did John Stewart. Give me Guy Gardner. Give me Kyle Rayner. You know, give me the dog. You know, give me something. Tomar Ray. Don't just keep on doing the same things over and over again. Who wants to have five, 10 to 10 different Wonder Womans all wearing the same armor?
Well, he's probably going by sales figures. So that's you know, speaking of Wonder Woman, there was also another one that got released, and it's to me, it's not even like a Wonder Woman figure. It's the Last Night on Earth Wonder Woman with the helmet of faith that you cannot remove. Wonder Woman. She's the character you want to see her face. The helmet's cool. She gets into a battle, takes the helmet off, and is a beautiful woman, strong, you know, she's a leader. What damn helmet is on? It's like Dr. Fate with a Wonder Woman outfit, and they're selling it. Great duds, but no removable helmet. And I don't know. I can't.
No. I on principle, I can't.
Yeah, but the Dark Knight's Wonder Woman does have a different edge. If you read in the modern Scott Snyder story, it's a little bit different than what we're seeing from the Wonder Woman. Now, let's talk Zack Snyder's Justice League. They rolled all these out. My initial thought was these face scans are brutal. But on second look, we got some second pictures. I didn't pre-order any just yet. I will say they knocked out Cyborg, which at first I'm like, of course, they knocked out the one character I don't care about. And then I saw the movie, and he was the character I cared about the most. Ray Fisher, say what you want about his squabbles with WB and whatever, but he was great. Cyborg was put through the center of Zack Snyder's cut of this movie, and now I need that figure. And I think they did a tremendous job with the face scan, so I'm going to grab that one. There's also a Walmart exclusive helmeted version, which looks pretty cool too. So if I see that, I might grab it. Did you pre-order any of these Justice League toys?
No, I did not.
Okay, did you see the movie?
All 4 hours and 2 minutes of it.
You weren't thrilled, huh?
You know what? Years ago, there was when Wolverine Origins came out, there was that leaked version that had everything before CGI. And it was a great thing to watch because it gave you an idea of what was going on behind the scenes. It whether it be the little plastic holders or whatnot, but it gave the person who was involved with everything a different perspective on things. When Justice League came out under Joss Whedon, it was a similar thing. You had him going into an impossible task of having to reshoot 3/4 of the movie and try to go through all the footage that was useful in there to try to make the best movie he could make. And is he, despite everything, was the guy a dick? Who knows? We weren't there, but he definitely did. He pushed his people to try to do as good of a job to his vision as he can get.
Sure.
Now people complain, people argued. We all know the movie was horrible, but it was also a merging of two different spirits. Now we got this one here, which was his director's cut, his 4-hour version. And there were many parts that were really good. And there was some parts in there were like, whatever. was it any better than the first one, the first version?
90% of the internet is actually saying yes. I can't believe it. So I mean, most people are loving this movie.
Maybe if you got rid of the slow cam, you would have easily saved a half an hour. But it's, um, but yeah, it was good, and it was nice to see where some shots were in the other movie with the intention of what it was supposed to be in.
Nailed
So
it.
it was a good thing to watch just to see how no matter what happens on anything, whether it be comics, toys, movies, anything, how different people's perspective can alter something. And it's a great thing to watch and study and learn and say, this is how things can be done. And I hope it works. I for me, it wasn't that great, but I didn't like the first one either. So they're both equally
Right.
subpar in my opinion.
Right. Gotcha. But well said before that. I think you nailed it as far as the gaining the different perspective on the original intent before studios get involved and whatever. But back to the figures, I did mention they had questionable face scans. I really wish some of these other maybe they don't have the money. They probably more than likely don't. We know Hasbro is kind of running a half monopoly over here, but it would be nice if some of them have got this photo real technology that we're starting to see. I'm starting to see some of it in the WWE line with Mattel, but I really want to see almost across the board. I mean, even some of the expensive toys that you're paying 80, 90 bucks, they don't quite nail it either. That's what Hasbro's doing so great with some of these 20 and $30. They could do a repaint, but they get the photo real, and it's like, whoa, it's such an upgrade that it's almost worth buying over. But then you see this Justice League, a lot of that might have to do with copyrights, might not be able to get exactly the actors' likenesses for the toy, so they kind of might not be able to do photoreal because of some stuff with studio money and whatever. But I don't know. On the second look, I'm gonna take a look. I want to see these in hand at Target. The Batfleck, the black suit Superman. I really want these figures, especially for 20 bucks, because otherwise, the alternative is Hot Toys. They released Nightmare Batman and Black Suit Superman. They're 12.5 inches tall, 30 points of articulation. They get the fabric coat and cape. Only just $515 for the pair. Erick Korpi. These come out fall of next year. So by then, are we going to even give a shit about the Snyder cut? Probably not. But yeah, it's a year from now. So yeah, I don't know if it's worth the wait or the money.
There's only one way to get me to buy the Superman one, and it's using a photorealistic version of him.
Henry Cavill. Yeah.
But I want them to have the mustache on him, but just do it skin colored. If that's what they want, that's what they want to make sell it. That's what I want. I want to have that because that is something that is the mustache that lived in infamy to the point where he made his own little trailer the day he shaved, and he goes, "Goodbye, King Stash." And I don't know if you ever saw it, but he did it. It was him in the bathroom.
Oh no, I've heard about it. Yeah.
Oh, he did the whole farewell to the mustache and shaved it off and went all clean. If that's how if they want to get me to buy it, I want that.
All right, you hearing that, Hot Toys? You'll sell a $260 statue figure to Eric if you give him a little stash accessory, a fake stash. Speaking of tall toys, NECA rolled out some giant-sized TMNT toys this week. There's a giant-sized Donatello, and damn, I love this thing. Just 4 face plates, extra hands, slices of pie. The Turtle Communicator, 125 bucks, so not too bad for a pretty tall toy, but out in July, awfully tempting. I don't think I have a room for big ass Ninja Turtles, but they also released TMNT cartoon series, The Ultimate Foot Soldier. Good luck with this, boys and girls. These army builders, this is a tremendous thing. Lots of accessories. Did you take a look at this Ultimate Foot Soldier, Eric?
I have not. I didn't get that far down the list.
All good. Lots of rifles, swords, stars, masks. It feels like it's inspired by the classified Cobra Trooper because it's kind of got all the fixins, if you will, and probably not for a bad price, 30 or 40 bucks from NECA. That's going to be tough to get. These are, especially an army builder with that many accessories. Yeah, you guys are in trouble. That's why I do not collect NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I'm not dealing with all the headaches, even though these are some of the probably in the top 5, if not top 3 figures that you can get for the buck. Go ahead.
But something that I realized the other day is NECA is getting more accessible.
Yes.
It is actually at Walgreens. It's on the bottom
I
shelf.
didn't know that. I didn't know.
It's on the bottom. Usually it's like the bottom shelf, the bigger boxes where you get the McFarlane, stuff like that on there. Some of the Transformers have been on there. There is a spot there for NECA now.
Sweet.
They was that I saw the other day. There was the stuff that I never thought I would see in there. I worked for Walgreens for 10 years,
no shit.
all up and down corporate. And let me tell you, it was always family friendly. Anything that was questionable, you'd never see it there. And now you got horror movie figures that are deluxe, like $20, $25 packages on there. And like, I never would have guessed that in a million years.
Yeah, it took a pandemic, right?
Exactly.
Now I know why you got that special Walgreens Norrin Rad.
Oh,
all right. It's Weekly Plunder time. Weekly Plunder's back. There it is. Chromed up.
there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Pretty. What else you pick up this week or past couple weeks?
All right. We got, if you got to have Norrin Rad, you got to have King Thanos to go with him.
Double deuce, baby.
Oh, yeah. And if anybody's ever read it, the King Thanos story, this is where the surfer comes from. He comes from there, written by Donny Cates and by Scott Shaw.
Nice.
And then,
pretty. That was well timed, by the way. Thank you, Kevin Wish. Good looking out.
And we got this in the mail earlier this week. Little Miss Firestar.
Nice.
With the androgynous Miss Lion. For anybody who doesn't know, Miss Lion is actually a boy.
Oh,
okay. It's just she let dress him in bows and he just became Miss Lion, but it's actually Mr. Lion.
And here's a guy who even at 70 years old will forever be a boy. It's Wade Wilson, and this is the suited, like burnt toast, dusty Deadpool, really cool Amazon exclusive. I think he's sold out now. Last I looked, yeah, he's a lot darker shade of red. I thought it would fit in well with my ninja ensemble that I got, but yeah, go ahead if you got anything else.
I was gonna say in that movie where you see him when he gets nailed and he gets up and he's got the different colored costume. I quickly looking at it, I thought they were going to go with the X-Force costume. Like, oh, how did this costume change happen?
Oh, the gray. Yeah.
I thought that was going to happen, but they just went with that version.
Yeah, maybe next time, because there's no gray right now. I know there's the blue and yellow X-Men Deadpool, or X-Force rather, but
he has the yellow and blue was when he was trying to join the X-Men.
X-Men. Yeah. So I was right originally.
He was trying to join them, and they finally started working with him. But when he was in X-Force, they gave him the gray and black costume.
Gray and black.
Gray and white.
Yeah, there you go. So you got anything else to show off? Anything new?
No, I think I pretty much got everything there.
And then a couple more pickups to our good friend Kevin Wish, and these are more of this is wave 2 of Kingdom. So kind of wrapping up our conversation, what we talked about earlier. So Inferno, these are big boys, as you can tell, bigger than my freaking head. And then Dinobot. So yeah, good stuff. Can't wait to put these up on the shelf.
Yeah, everybody was waiting for the Inferno to come out. I mean, it's the third one of the trucks. You got Grapple and I'm forgetting his name right now. But there was the green truck, the yellow truck, and him. They were like the three brothers, just like the Blue Streak Brawl and where Blue Streak Brawl and I'm losing.
Runabout?
No, it was before. It was first wave. But it was the three same cars, but the three remodels, just to be retooled a little bit differently. But yeah, it was always something cool to see, because no matter whatever you like, if you loved Firestar and they made a different color, they made her in black and she was Black Star, people would love that too. There's always a little something out there for everybody.
Yeah, that's kind of like the reoccurring theme we've seen here is lots of variants, lots of repaints, retools, repacks. But guess what? At the end of the day, we're all marks for this shit. We're all gonna buy it over and over and over and over, no matter what, we type online. They know they got us by the balls.
They know we're all talk. You know, where whatever happens, we're done.
All talk, but our wallet slowly. It's like
It's got a mind of its own.
Credit card got swiped. Erick Korpi, this has been a tremendous talk. I loved it. It felt like a podcast more than a YouTube show. It was a tremendous conversation. I'm glad we got to do this. Couple of mass homies, mass holes, and we're gonna let them have it. If the Fan Fest doesn't come through, maybe we'll bring you back and we'll go ham on these brothers.
Anytime.
All right, it's been a pleasure. March Madness, as you can see, lots of news. Episode 23 for Travis Moody, Eric. It's been a toy kind of mood. We'll see you.